Today we discuss about the sad story of the Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was born Norma Jean Morton's son on June 1st, 1926 in Los Angeles, California. Her mother Gladys worked in call center film industry where she met salesman Charles Stanley Guilford, who left Gladys when she fell pregnant. Gladys had severe bouts with a mental illness and was unable to care for Norma, and she was placed with the foster parents. She spent her childhood in and out of foster homes and states-run care until the age of 16 when she married James Doty. A friend of hers that lived a few houses away, Doty joined the military. Norma went to work at a defense plant as well as working as a model. In 1945, she signed with the Blue Book model agency, dyed her hair blondie, and began appearing in the magazine ads covers. Norma was an avid reader and spent quite a bit of her modeling salary on books. She also took literature courses and acting courses at the Actors Lab in Hollywood when she met Marilyn. An executive 20th Century Fox, he convinced Dolly F. Jahn to sign her to a 6 month contract. It was at this time Loin changed her name to Marilyn Monroe. She had a bit part as a waitress in the movie Dangerous Years in 1947. Zanuck was not particularly impressed with the Monroe and let her contract lapse a year later. By this time, she had divorced with her daughter and decided to pursue acting full-time. In 1948, she was signed by Columbia Pictures and appeared in several minor pictures such as Ladies of the Chorus in the 1948, A Ticket to the Tomahawk, All About Evie, and Asphalt Jungle 1950 and Niagara in 1953. It was her performance as Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and How to Marry a Millionaire in 1953, and that was Monroe as a star. And 1954, a married baseball legend joined DiMaggio. The marriage lasted less than a year because DiMaggio wanted a full-time wife and Marley wanted to continue to act. He also had a hard time dealing with Marilyn's sex symbol image and attention from men. In 1955, she appeared with the Tom Well in Billy Wilder's comedy The 7 Year Itch, where the iconic photo of Marilyn standing over a sidewalk great bowling on upskirt was created. By this time, Marilyn was tired of the dumb blondie roles, and she was continuously being handed and yearned from more dramatic roles. She moved to New York and enrolled in the New York Actors Studio, studying under the director Lee Strasberg. She also began psychotherapy as owned by Strasberg. Strasberg was one of the movie industry elite. He coached such actors as Marlon Brando, James Dean, Annie Bancroft, Shelley Winters, Sidney Poitier, and Joan Woodward in the method acting technique. Monroe became very attached to Strasberg, and in a sense, he became the father she never had. And in 1956, Marilyn was back in Hollywood to work in Josh Logan's Bust Up. She ran into playwright Arthur Miller, who she had met earlier at a party. Miller's embodied everything Marilyn wanted life. He was a serious thinker, well-educated, highly respected writer. She was introduced to his social circle of literally greats such as Truman Capote, Carl Stanborg, and Saab Billow. Marilyn was intelligent and witty and fit right in the Miller's friends. She converted to Miller's religion of Judaism and married him in June of 1956, and with Lee Strasberg giving her away at a small wedding. The newlyweds moved into an apartment on East 57th Street in New York City and frequently vacationed on Long Island. Monroe had reported that the time spent with the Miller in 1957 were the best of her life. She was truly in love. She was being given serious acting roles, believed that she had finally found the happiness that had eluded her since childhood. When she and Miller moved to London, and she could work on Prince and the Showgirl with Laurence Olivier, things began to unravel. Miller had left his diary open, and Marilyn saw an entry where he had written that their marriage was a disappointment and that she had frequently embarrassed him in front of his friends because she was not as smart as he would have liked. Marilyn was devastated, but continued to work to keep the marriage together. She returned to the psychoanalysis and began relying on barbiturates and alcohol to sleep. The two returned to the United States and purchased a home in Connecticut. Marley stood with the miller while he was attacked by the House Un-American Activities Committee run by Senator Joseph McCarthy, well known for investigating the famous for ties, real or imagined, to the Communist Party. And 1959, Marley appeared in Some Like It Hot with Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon. The film was critical and box office success. Marlin had already been fired from several projects due to habitual lateness and for being difficult to work with on set, and her anguish over her failing marriage only made these things over and worse. She completed Let's Make Love in 1960 and U.S. man told and starved her for affection. She had become involved in an affair with Mountain, further alienating her from her husband. She re-entered psychoanalysis, but it seemed to her that her doctor was more concerned with his infatuation for her than on her mental well-being. And she was. May 19, 1962, Peter Lawford had arranged an appearance with Marilyn at a Democratic fundraiser in Madison Square Garden. It was there Marilyn appeared in the former skin-tight dress and sang "Happy Birthday" to President John F. Kennedy. And 3 months later, Marilyn died. She was divorced, and